Welcome to another trip down the Bourbon Road with your hosts, Jim and Mike. So grab a glass of your favorite bourbon and kick back.
Hey, this is Big Chief, and you're listening to the Bourbon Road. You know what I love to pour in my old fashions is a little maple syrup. Can't be just any maple syrup. It has to be from Seldom Seen Farms up in Ohio. He takes bourbon barrels, pours his syrup in there, and ages it for 6 to 9 months, making for some delicious syrup that you could pour on pancakes. You could pour it on waffles, chicken and waffles like this fat guy likes. But seriously, you want to make a delicious cocktail with some maple syrup and not that old simple syrup. Check out seldomseenmaple.com. Pick up some stuff from there today. We'd appreciate it.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Shannon.
And I'm Mike Hyatt.
This is the Bourbon Road. And today, Mike, we are in Franklin, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
On stage.
Yes, sir.
At the Southern Whiskey Society event hosted by Made South.
Yeah.
Pretty excited. This has been a great day so far. You and I have had a chance to taste a few things. And who do we have on the show first?
Well, we're starting out with some royalty here in Nashville. So we got, everybody calls him B-Mo, but he's Brian Morris from a famous little chicken place here in Nashville called Hattie B's. You know how I love that hot chicken, right?
You love some Hattie B's for sure.
Yes, sir.
I know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, thanks for the kind words, boys. Great to be here.
Yeah, so we've been sipping on a little bit of bourbon today.
Yeah.
We tasting this and tasting that. We did get a chance to stop by and taste what you had on the table there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so we're for things like this, we like to have fun with it and do something a little whimsical, something you're not going to find on the menu, but that delivers the things you expect from Hattie B's, which is fresh, crispy, crunchy, spicy, super tender, juicy chicken. And so we've got all those things in our dish tonight. So it's basically like the Lord's skewer or the Lord's hot chicken corn dog or, Jesus's favorite bite, however you want to say it, I mean, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but so we've got really amazing dark meat chicken. And what we do is run it through a cuber about 4 times. So it's just practically falling apart. And then we put it around a skewer and let it set overnight. And then we dip that in a brioche batter that's kind of eggy and sweet and buttery, really good, and fry that. It's almost like a hot chicken funnel cake. And then we'll top that off with our Nashville comeback sauce, some crispy, crunchy kosher dill pickles. I mean, it's kind of all the flavors of Hattie B's in one, but different, something special for the Southern Whiskey Society. You can't just bring out, old hat at the Southern Whiskey Society.
Well, you could.
Well, I mean, but we don't want to just play the hits.
There would be no complaints if you did.
But there's 4 awesome Hattie B's you can go to in Nashville today. 10 Hattie B's around the country you can go to and get that stuff. If you want what we do so well, you can go get that anywhere at any Hattie B's tonight. But only here at Southern Whiskey Society at the factory in Franklin can you get the Lord's skewer.
The Lord's skewer. I'm tell you what, I ate some. That's a fat man's dream, Jim.
Yeah. It is.
It absolutely is. And so you've been sipping on a little bit of bourbon tonight?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit. Just a little sampling. We're right next to Bardstown, so great way to start.
So you've been able to reach over there and grab a little something to go along with your dish.
We have, yeah. Our dish has got a little bit of sweetness, a little savoriness, a little bready kind of notes, and so I think it's a great pairing with a wheated bourbon.
Yeah.
Something that's got a little more butterscotchy, a little more of that bread sugar. Maybe not as good of a pairing with something that's a little pepperier, more rye, but man, anything down that weeded bourbon side, I think would be just
so
fantastic.
He's a weeder guy too, Mike. What do you think about that?
That sounds good to me. I mean,
I think for the pairing of the dish, it's what it wants.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to turn my nose up to anything. So
yeah, no, I think it's important to know which whiskey with which bite. I really believe that.
I had Buffalo Trace in mind when we put this bite together.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean something like that. It's got a lot of butterscotch, a lot of wood sugar. That to me, that really goes well with this.
Well, what do you say? We've got a pretty good crowd of people here. They seem to be really engaged, spending a little time at each table. What do you think about the Southern Whiskey Society event in general?
I mean, it's great. I mean, anytime we can get folks together to help, do some little thing to mitigate food insecurity, try to bring some food security in. I mean, what a great way to do that here. Tasting great bourbons, eating great food. I mean, what a great collection of chefs from around Middle Tennessee here tonight. I mean, myself, the least of which. Yeah, so I mean, it's so neat for us to be here tonight. We love giving. Hattie B's all about giving, and this event is a big give. But a lot of fun in the meantime, right? So to be able to contribute a lot of money tonight, to one generation away. A lot of great attendees who showed up and dug deep for big tickets tonight. I can't wait to see what this event can do to contribute to that great charity.
Well, BMO, what's your go-to bourbon?
Man, honestly, my everyday is Buffalo Trace. I mean, I say every day. It's not every day anymore, but my sort of weekday bourbon is Buffalo Trace. Probably.
Well, there's no shame in that, right there, is it, Jim?
That's
grew
some good
up
stuff.
on Maker's Mark. I would say. I grew. That was the one we were younger that we all. So maybe that's why I stuck in the weeded side.
How long you been the chef there at Hattie B's?
I've been at Hattie B's since 2014, so coming up on 8 years now. Came on right after we opened store number 2.
All right.
So I mean, I'm a lucky guy. Got a great job, work with incredible people. Can't imagine doing anything else at this point.
I've always wondered how much chicken in a day.
In a day?
Yeah, in Hattie B's, in all the Hattie B's. What do you think? Take a guess.
Well, this year in 2022, we'll probably do something like 6 or 7 million pounds in total.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm not you might be better at quick math than me right now. This is a bourbon event after all.
You
So
when you're talking that much
if
chicken,
you've got
you
an
don't need
abacus, I'll
math.
take a shot at it. But I'm out of fingers at those numbers.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, you don't need math when you get that high. It's just that's enough.
But it's neat. We work with great family farmers here in the Southeast to provide our chicken, and we try to work with as many family businesses as we can. That's a big important thing for us as we grow, making sure that whether it's our pickles, our breading, our chicken, our waffles, we work with as many great family businesses as we can. We're a family business, and so that's kind of at the epicenter of our motivations.
Well, Brian, we appreciate you coming on the Bourbon Road.
Hey, my pleasure.
Serving us up some great grub over there.
Yeah, buddy, all night.
You can expect us to always be at Hattie B's when we come to Nashville.
We do. We don't miss it. We don't miss a lick every chance we get.
Well, we're growing bigger than Nashville now. So, you can find us in Atlanta. You can find us in Dallas. You can find us in Vegas, Birmingham, Memphis. Coming next year to Houston, Austin, and all over the place.
You just haven't went north to Kentucky.
Not yet, but give me a second. We'll be there. We'll be there
it's coming.
soon. Oh,
It's
yeah,
coming.
it is.
All right.
We love Kentucky.
Well, thank you, sir.
We'll
We
see you on
appreciate
down the Bourbon Road.
All right.
So, Jim, man, when we did this episode with Chris Thomas and we talked about Southern Whiskey Society, he did a pretty damn good giveaway for it, some tickets to this event. And a guy named Thomas Reed, the third, right?
The second.
The second.
second.
Not a third yet.
Yeah. No, not yet.
Not yet. But Thomas won those tickets. Thomas showed up here tonight with his sister. He's here, and we got him on the show.
So you're a roadie, of course,
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
that's a prerequisite to win those tickets, right?
For sure. For sure.
Were you pretty surprised when your name was called out?
100%.
Yeah.
Because I never win anything. You're in the bourbon game and you do all these, tag this and share this and like this page, and you never win anything. But this one, when you tagged me on Instagram, I was like, "Oh, hot dog, we got it!" I was just blown away because I don't. How long has this thing been going on? A couple of years now. I've never even
we're
been.
3.5 years almost.
Yeah.
Oh, the Southern Whiskey Society is about 3
About the
years
same.
old too.
About the same, yeah.
And I don't live but 30 minutes north of here.
So, whiskey, bourbon,
Yes.
when did it all start?
So in 2019, I purchased my first home, and my realtor got me a bottle of Jefferson's Very Fine and Rare.
Okay.
And so that started this. I was like, okay, well, this is good stuff. And because before it was like, taking shots at the bar, or doing something like that. But so then I started going to liquor stores and find something new. And all of a sudden, one of the guys on TikTok, Steve Higdon, had started a bourbon club online. And so I joined that, and it's been, I'm not really downhill, it's uphill.
So how's that bottle collection going?
It's stupid, man. If you, being single and having single man money, I purchase a bottle all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I poured you a pretty nice pour
Yeah,
here.
you did. I'm looking forward to that. I seen that Old Elk, and I'm like, oh, sugar.
That's about $100 bottle right here
Yes, sir.
of Old Elk double wheat, Jim.
Now, sadly, they're not here tonight,
They're not.
but maybe next year they'll come by.
Maybe next year. Maybe we can get them at a Bourbon Road event.
Yeah, there we go.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Be a good deal.
We might have an event like this coming up.
Just maybe.
Just maybe.
Just maybe.
Just maybe.
Keep listening.
We want to tease our listeners out there, but we wanted to make sure, hey, the Weeded King of Kentucky's always got some weeded bourbon in hand.
He sure does.
And sure enough, I pulled some out of a magic bag I carry with me, right, Jim?
That's right. You did. You've always got a magic bag of bourbon.
There was a magic bag. He says, "Hey, come on over here."
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, old Big Mike's gonna do it.
Well, for those who are entering our contests and wondering why they haven't won, well, you just got to keep at it. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Just keep at it.
Continue to share, like those posts, give the reviews, engage. That's the thing I think is most important. That is delicious. So sorry, the bourbon caught me off guard.
That's
but
right.
Yeah, the engagement part, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're active on all those posts all the time, and that's where the randomizers will pick you right up.
Now, this event tonight is not just about bourbon. It's also about food.
Yes.
What have you found so far that you really liked?
So the number one thing was the little baby tacos back here. I had plenty of those.
Yeah.
Number one. Now look, y'all are big boys. I'm a big boy. And I had plenty of them little baby tacos.
Now, that was from Keeneland.
Yes.
And those were the pork jowl tacos, right?
Yes, the beef. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then the pork belly Nashville hot chicken over here from Hattie B's.
Yeah.
Now that was a delicious bite.
It was.
Fantastic.
I bet they'll love to hear that because we just had old B. Mo, their executive chef, come on and talk about that. Like I said, it was a fat man's dream.
100%. Yeah.
Well, Thomas, I'm glad that you and your sister got to come here, enjoy this episode with us. Yes. Celebrate whiskey, celebrate a great charity one generation away that this is helping out. We don't want to see anybody going hungry. Right. I'm not going to go hungry. You're not going to go hungry. But we don't want to see any children out there around Nashville go hungry either. And that's what this whole thing's really about, besides whiskey and some great chefs, is about families. But they're only one generation away from poverty. And that's what that charity helps out.
Well, I appreciate everything you guys are doing, not only for the charity, but also on the roadies, on the podcast and Instagram. One of the things I like most about you guys is the realness, and that's one thing that is, I was telling somebody down there about being pretentious when I smell and nose whiskeys and stuff like that. But like, you guys are 100%, and I really appreciate the opportunity to even win a contest, right? And
awesome.
So that's really cool. I appreciate it.
We're glad to have you as part of the roadies, and we hope we see you at many of our events down the road,
yes.
And maybe even up in Frankfurt here in a few months, right?
In a little while, right?
Yeah.
We got another event in Frankfurt, Kentucky. Little bitty whiskey event called Bourbon on the Banks. There's like 80 distilleries there. Some great food, great music, and there'll be us two jokers there just shooting the shit in our Bourbon Road Lounge. So it'll be a great event. We hope to see your sister and you up there in Kentucky. We really appreciate your support. We'll let you get back to the food and the whiskey and keep that glass filled out. We tried to get your sister on here. You said she's a little shy.
She's scaredy cat.
Scaredy cat.
Yeah.
She's on headphones, just not on microphone.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Thomas, we'll see you down the Bourbon Road, brother.
All right,
brother. Thank you.
So Mike, you just made another round. We had a break while the band was off.
Yeah.
And now the band's back, so you can hear them in the background here. 3 pieces, right?
Yeah. They sound pretty damn good.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is going to turn out okay, but you know what? I'm guessing it will.
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
Well, Viv was telling us an amazing story about, she's going to talk. She's got the mic in front of her.
Her mic's not on.
So she was talking about this guy was walking around. He had a brown bag, and he's taking his glass and he's pouring inside the brown bag. So she was curious to see what he was doing, why he's pouring his whiskey in the bag. But he had a mason jar in that bag, and he's going to every distillery here, the 30-plus distilleries, and he's making himself a Southern Whiskey Society Infinity bottle.
Now, how brave and how smart is that at the same time?
Well, yeah, it is brave, but it's also pretty damn cool. And I don't know if you'd call it an infinity bottle, the Southern Whiskey Society blend.
Yeah, it's the blend.
Yeah.
There's a lot of whiskey here. How many distilleries do we have?
30 plus, and some of them have, I don't know.
4 or 5 expressions.
4 or 5 expressions, yeah.
Yeah.
pretty neat that he would be doing something like that. And what kind of blend you would get out of it, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be fine. I think it'd be good.
What's your favorite food so far here?
I have to say it would be it's a toss-up for me. Husk. It's between the brisket from Husk and then the stuffed beignet from Hardee's, and it's got like bacon and Gruyere cheese sauce, a little bit of whiskey sauce under it.
Now, you know the listener's going to be like, Hardee's does not have a beignet at it. You know they're going to say that.
Yeah, well, I guess they just take their biscuit dough and they deep fry it and they got a beignet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good. I'd say I have to say Husk is probably, I love some brisket, and they got that sous vide over there. That's how they're doing it. I thought you'd be pretty interested in that, but it was pretty delicious and stuff. There's also these little chocolates over there filled up with liqueur from Old Dominic. Oh my goodness. And they're going to come on a little bit later.
Surprise and bite. You bite and you get a surprise, right?
Oh yeah, it's so delicious. I mean, this is just a wonderful event, listeners, that we're getting to be at. Our beautiful wives are here with us. We tried to get them on air tonight with us. They're not liquored up enough.
Well, Chris Thomas knows how to throw a party.
Yeah.
Made South knows how to put up an event. We're having a real good time here tonight. We got lots of whiskey flowing. We got a lot of people having a great time. We got great food, great music. I'm sure you can hear it. Mike, 2 more pieces of food I want to talk about.
Okay.
The duck sausage.
You like that?
I like it. Did you like it?
It's all right. A little messy. The bread was a little much for me. Probably a smaller portion of bread because, you got to be able to fit it in your mouth. I haven't had enough food yet because I noticed my turkey, what do you call it? Turkey timer, that little red thing that pops out? What's that thing called?
Yeah, turkey timer.
Turkey timer. Well, my belly button will start popping out if I eat too much more. So, but I'm waiting for that thing to pop out. So we'll do a couple more rounds here, get some more whiskey. We got some whiskey that distilleries have given us. We're sipping on a little bit of this Old Elk double wheat. It's actually 2 different barrels is what it is. It's not been double barreled. The 2 different barrels that were put together.
Needless to say that we haven't been talking a great deal about the bourbons, but we have been drinking a great deal of bourbons, haven't we?
Oh my Lord! Just some great stuff. This event is supporting One Generation Away. It's they're a great charity. They provide meals, and in 2021 they distributed 3.5 million meals. That's feeding a lot of people right there.
That's feeding an awful lot of people.
They did 4.2 million pounds of food acquired in 2021.
In all the restaurants that have shown up here tonight, all of the distilleries that have shown up here tonight, as well as the ticket holders, are doing their part to try and help this charity.
Yeah, if you really think about it, 1 in 8 Middle Tennesseans experience food insecurity, meaning they don't have food for their house, and you want to see something like that just get wiped off the face of the earth, and that's what One Generation's about. One Generation Away, Chris Thomas putting on a great event like this, Southern Whiskey Society, and I'd just like to point out that whiskey can be used for good.
It absolutely can.
We've seen it help veterans, we've seen it help tornado victims, and we've seen it help flood victims of lately in eastern Kentucky. It's helping beat hunger. All 4 of us, our wives and us, we don't like to see that kind of stuff, but we love to support great causes like that. And this is definitely one of those times right here.
Let me take a minute, because we've talked a lot so far about the food. We've been ranting and raving over this bite and that bite, but let's start to rattle off a few distilleries that have come to support this event and to pour the whiskeys for people. And I'll just start with a couple. A New Riff, Redline. Let's see.
You got Garrison Brothers here from Texas.
Garrison Brothers here. Yep.
You don't just got Garrison Brothers here. You got Dan Garrison and his wife are here all the way from Texas. That shows that they really do care.
Absolutely. So who else do we got? We've got Angel's Envy is here. We've got Uncle Nearest.
You got Woodford Reserve. You got Evan Williams.
Willett.
I mean, there's a bunch of great Kentucky distilleries down here in Tennessee right now. You got Jack Daniels is here. You got our neighbors, right? Bullet is here.
Bullet's
in-house.
Company, the new company distillery,
Yeah,
Bardstown Bourbon Company.
I don't know, but this band, look at my foot, Jim. My boot is just, something's happening to it. I don't know. This music right here, it's just jamming.
I love it. Well,
yeah, these distilleries, man, they're putting on a great show for these whiskey enthusiasts that are here and stuff. I think we might be selling a couple bourbon bullshitter t-shirts today because everybody walking around with one on, everybody's like, hey, where'd I get that shirt at? Luckily, we have our wives with us that both have business cards, and they're like flinging them at people. Here you go. So we'll be back with another guest, Jim, I think.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Man, Jim, you know what I've really been enjoying lately?
Oh, you're going to tell me.
Some of that Seldom Seen Farms maple syrup that's been aged in bourbon barrels. It is absolutely delicious, not only in a cocktail, but you can cook with it, right?
You can. You absolutely can. Now, Mike, Kevin just sent me a new shipment, so I got a little bit more. And I've been making some beef jerky lately.
Really?
Yeah. Now, I know you're the meat master, but I tried my hand at it. I said, I want to make some beef jerky. And I've got a pretty decent beef jerky recipe. And it's got a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of Worcestershire, a little bit of, onion powder, garlic powder, those kind of things. But I always put brown sugar in it. Well, this time Kevin sent me a bottle of his granulated maple sugar.
Wow.
And I decided that I was going to substitute the maple sugar for the brown sugar. Oh, game changer. Let me tell you.
Total game changer. Huh?
Total game changer. Some of the best beef jerky you've ever had. So I'm going to make another batch here in about a week, and I'll be sure to get you some.
Man, that sounds delicious. Vivian took, and we just got an air fryer like most people got these days, right? And she took and soaked fresh pineapple in that maple syrup and then put it in the air fryer, and it kind of crisped up a little bit.
Oh, sounds good.
It was just magically delicious. And people probably wonder why we love it so much. Kevin competed in the Maple Festival last year, 2021, and he was named grand champion. That's saying something.
So Seldom Seen Farms, grand champion of the 2021 Maple Syrup Festival.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
You're going up against some heavy hitters in maple syrup. And I know we're talking about just the syrup, but, that's something to be proud of. Hats off to you, Kevin, for winning that. Kevin's also competing in a couple other competitions. Make sure you check out his website. Check out his social media on Instagram and Facebook. You won't be disappointed. If you want to buy something from him, where can they go, Jim?
You can go to seldomseenmaple.com. And Kevin and his crew, they've got a great website, very easy to navigate. They got all their products on there. You can buy their maple syrup by the bottle. You can buy it by the case. You can buy that sugar. Oh my goodness, Mike, that stuff is so good. And they've got some other gift sets there too. So you definitely want to check it out.
Well, he's also going to be in some distilleries pretty shortly here. Some distilleries that I love and I know you love. He's going to be down at Leaper's Fork. You can find a syrup down there aged in their barrels. Treaty Oak down in Dripping Springs, Texas. I was just out there. His syrup's going to be there.
Awesome.
And at Garrison Brothers in Texas, if you think you love some maple syrup, make sure you go into Garrison Brothers and pick up a bottle from them also. Kevin appreciated. I know he loves people. You're supporting a local farmer, a local product, a small family. This is no factory place that's putting out maple syrup, right, Jim?
This is a good man doing good work.
Yeah, gotta love it. Well, make sure you check out his site, like Jim said, seldomseenmaple.com. Pick up a bottle today. Yeah, we're just here jamming.
Could I, you guys have any blends up here?
Do we have any
I don't have any clean blends.
Oh, no.
Actually, there you go.
Wouldn't mind,
Here. You ever had this before?
I've had Old Elk before.
Well, I wish we had a little rare character right now. would go with the story, wouldn't it?
It would. Thank you.
So this is Old Elk Double Wheat.
Oh, cool.
Just
I've never had it.
newly on the market.
Oh, it's
Well, Jim, I'm out there roaming around, and you were talking about that beignet again, and this guy's like, man, get that last one. I'm about to grab a beignet from the Hardee's booth over there. And this guy went over there and snatched it up, and I was like, well, there went that. And he was like, well, I'll share it with you. And I was like, do I look like I share anything in life? I'll share whiskey. I'll share whiskey. That's true.
You do share whiskey.
But a beignet, that's not getting shared with anybody. Not even my wife. I just eat myself. But I drug Owen over here, Owen Klein from Hardee's. Owen, what's your job at Hardee's?
I head up innovation for Hardee's and Carl's Jr. So I run the team that makes all the new menu items for both brands.
So the next great thing, right? The next great,
yeah.
That's you.
Next great thing.
So I was here a couple of years ago. No, more than a couple. 2019, I think I came.
Yep.
And you had a small bite that was duck fried duck on a Hardee's biscuit.
Duck fried duck on a Hardee's biscuit with a bacon pudding on the side.
Oh my God, it was to die for. It was so good.
Yeah.
And this year you kind of stepped it up a notch. Tell us about your dish this time.
Yeah, so this year we're serving a Hardee's biscuit beignet, which is essentially the Hardee's biscuit dough deep fried this time. And we stuffed it with a bacon Gruyere cheese sauce and put it on top of a whiskey caramel infused with rare character.
Wow, Rare Character is a whiskey brand.
Yep.
And you're actually neighbors out here on the floor.
Absolutely, I think they set it up that way, so we can be a one-stop shop. But we're using the barrel pick from Southern Whiskey Society in our caramel, and it's freaking fantastic.
So amazing. So how often do you get to do these creative events like this, where you're going to try something out of the box?
Not as often as I'd like. These things are fun, especially when it's for a charitable cause like One Generation Away, where we can get some of the creative juices out. Instead of the day-to-day minutia that we all deal with at our day jobs. You guys might not know what's up with that, but yeah, corporate America can be a little dull sometimes. So events like these are freaking amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mike, we had a little event, a 4-person event where we did some biscuit challenges, didn't we?
Yeah, what we did was we took kind of 4 fast food biscuits, and we paired each one of those with a Kentucky ham.
Oh, that's cool.
From across Kentucky. We actually had a Hardee's biscuit there. I think we did McDonald's biscuits. See, the other ones were just so unforgettable. Bojangles, yeah.
You do a Chick-fil-A biscuit?
No, there's not a Chick-fil-A in our little town, so.
Well, they suck anyway, so it's
Well, we had 4 different biscuits and 4 different country hams.
Yeah.
And then 4 different cocktails, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
And Hardee's biscuits paired with Finchville ham won the day.
Yeah.
With a Mel's Bourbon Mimosa.
Yeah, it was really good.
Bourbon mimosa.
Yeah.
Well, it was our Jim's wife's Melody. She picked her cocktail was a mimosa, and it was her take on a mimosa with bourbon in it. And we kind of started that with at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival a couple of years ago. And then we came down to Nashville. I said, Jim was like, Mike, I'm going to drive, and you're just going to drink the whole time I'm driving. And so we're driving down the road, and they filled me an entire Yeti thermos up. And I think that thing's like 48 ounces full of bourbon and orange juice and a little bit of champagne in there.
Sounds like breakfast.
Manmosa.
Yeah. Manmosa. Yeah.
And it's just become a thing amongst our little crew. The Bourbon Road, we love eating for breakfast.
Yeah.
A different take on mimosa for us.
Yeah, I want to try it now. That sounds good.
I'm telling you, you're missing out if you haven't.
I've been insanely into a new cocktail, or new for me. Have you guys had paper planes before?
I haven't.
No.
So it's bourbon, Amaro, Campari, and lemon juice, and it is the best bourbon summer cocktail of all time. Like, we make pictures of it at home. It's phenomenal. You get any kind of drinker, like the H&H or something like that, and it is amazing. The lemon really brightens it up. It's kind of like a Lynchburg lemonade, but not nearly as sweet. It has a lot more bitter on it.
Wow, when you said bourbon and tomorrow, I'm thinking Black Manhattan kind of.
Yeah. So same kind of hit to your palate right away, but you can drink them all day.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Yeah,
well, Owen, so awesome to have you on the show. So awesome to have you here at Southern Whiskey Society this year.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Amazing.
How's that bourbon in your hand?
Oh, this is great. So you said this is Old Elk double wheat?
Double weeded. It's a blend of two different weeded bourbons. One is a 6-year-old. The other one is 6, 7, and 8-year-old. It is a 71.5% wheat. Whoa. So it's a weeded whiskey.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. No, this is really tasty. On the nose, I got a ton of ethanol. I thought it was going to blow me up, but on the palate, this is phenomenal. I could drink this for a long time.
I wish Old Elk would have made it here today, but I'm sure we'll see in some future events. Once they hear this podcast, they'll be like, what the hell?
What are we doing?
Why did we miss that?
Yeah.
Where's my marketing team?
Yeah. Well, Owen, man, we look forward to talking to you again. We appreciate you coming over here and shooting it with us for a little bit.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Well, Jim, I went down to the crowd. I'm drinking some whiskey. They got this brand that caught my eye. It's called Redline.
Yeah, I had a little bit of Redline.
Did you?
Yeah.
And what'd you think?
Well, I had their rye. They've got a toasted rye, and I really liked that a lot. It was very tasty. Now, it's kind of hard. We've got 40 distilleries here. I don't know how many distilleries are here, but they all have 3 or 4 or 5 expressions. So you got to be kind of careful about
consumption.
You got to be responsible.
Was that when people died back in the day and they say they died from consumption? Is that what they died from? Was consumption, over consumption? I don't know. I don't think that's what they were talking about. But I went over there and I grabbed Taylor, the owner, the founder of Redline. I drug him up here on stage with him and got him on the Bourbon Road. Taylor, welcome to the Bourbon Road, man.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about Redline. Tell our listeners about Redline.
Yeah, so actually we started Redline last year. We launched in November with a kind of a pre-release. First distribution was Tennessee, which we're here in Tennessee now. And since then, it's kind of been a whirlwind. We've just hit our 15th state, and we're also launching into Canada next month. So we kind of started it as I'm a bourbon enthusiast myself. So we started as kind of a, hey, let's see how this goes. And my family's been in the liquor industry for 30 years now. So got a little bit of background in wine and other things like that. But first time doing a bourbon. And it's been very well received, and we're excited.
So you guys are currently out of Paducah, Kentucky.
Yes.
Down on the old Mississippi.
Yep.
But you've got a move in mind, right?
Correct. Yeah. So when we started, we did a private bottling contract with a good friend of ours, Silent Brigade. They do moonshine. So they had a lot of space that they didn't need, as you can imagine. And we have quickly filled that up. And we are opening our facility here in Nashville beginning of 2023.
Now, what will you be doing in that facility specifically?
So we're going to be doing some storage, mostly rectifying, as our barrels are produced at MGP currently. We're going to be doing all the bottling, finishing processes there. So
that's always a young company like that. We always love to embrace those young companies, those young brands. It needs some love. And introduction to whiskey drinkers out there. Jim, I drank some of the rum finished. It's rum cast from Barbados, right?
Yes. Yep. That's our brand new product.
Man, I'm telling you what. If honey butter could be a whiskey,
honey butter,
that's what it'll be right there. Honey, I mean, it just coated my mouth, and I can't wait to get those 2 whiskeys on the show and do a review of them.
Yeah, it'd be great. I was going to say, Mike, I could eat a piece of cardboard with honey butter on it.
What do you think about that, Taylor?
The honey butter or the Barbados rum?
The Barbados rum.
Yeah, so it's been a very exciting one for me. Obviously, I love rum. There's been some other companies that have come out with some really good rum cast finish. Angel's Envy did that rye back in the day. The Unicorn blend, which was a rum cast finish that now, it's some absorbent amount of money to find. But,
legendary.
So I am just truly, grateful for how it turned out. Doing cast finish, experimental series. They can either come out great or they can come out really bad.
What do you do with those really bad ones? What you just like?
We haven't had one yet.
No. All right.
We haven't had one yet. But we do go everything off taste. So if something's just not ready in the bourbon industry, just let it sit.
So you do small blends at a small scale.
So actually, everything's single barrel.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So all the current Redline whiskey products are single barrel and cast strength. We do have some small batch proof down versions coming out end of this year, beginning of next year. But currently everything on the shelf, toasted rye, our straight 6-year, and all of our experimentals are single barrel cast strength.
Let me make sure I understand this correctly. So you're procuring barrels.
Yep.
And each one of those is in fact a single barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're taking that one single barrel and putting it into another single barrel without blending.
Correct.
And then so it's truly a single barrel all the way through.
Correct.
So some people, they kind of play with that a little bit. They'll batch their first barrels and then they'll release their second set as single barrels, right?
Correct. Yeah.
It's not really the case, is it?
No. So yeah, most brands or most people, it's a little bit easier to do a big batch if you're going to release it to the nation. Depending on how many states you are in. To get a more consistent product that's going to be on the shelf. We like to kind of play outside those lines and make sure that every barrel is kind of
unique,
different, fun.
Well,
everything's taste tested, so
So I mean, that's great. That's awesome. It's also a little scary sometimes, right? Because you never know what you're going to get when you buy those barrels, do you?
No, you don't. You absolutely do not.
Now, I see you guys are drinking a little bit of that Old Elk.
Old Elk, yeah.
Yes, we are.
Some weeded whiskey at that, yeah. They're not here, but we wish they were, and I hope to see them next year at this event. Taylor, I absolutely love your whiskey.
Thank you.
We can't wait to have it on the show, and we appreciate you coming over here, taking all the time. I know your booth it's bumping over there. That's a good sign, right?
Yes, it's a great sign.
It's your booth is got a long line like Willett over there. Now that's saying something.
Because they got 3 purple tops sitting out there. One's 19 years old.
Yeah,
I know. Yes, I have hidden my logo and made my rounds over there.
Have you?
All right. Well, Taylor, we appreciate it, man.
Yes, thank you guys for having me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, Jim, I'm walking out there and they have these. The Tennessee Whiskey Trail has these little goo-goo clusters.
I had one.
Oh my God!
It's an explosion, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just amazing. I love it. It's hard to explain what it is, but what I did do was I grabbed the director of marketing for the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, Charity Toombs, and I brought her up here with us.
Hello.
Charity, welcome to the Bourbon Road.
Thanks for having me.
And welcome to the Southern Whiskey Society event. What a great show this has been so far.
It has been. It's been a great event.
A lot of great people here. A lot of great Tennessee businesses here as well.
Agreed.
But people from outside as well.
Yes, very many.
Yeah.
So, Charity, what is that thing?
So it is the Tennessee Whiskey Trail's collaboration with Goo Goo Chocolate. It is a 9-spirit collection that we have done that is a great way of tasting the trail. So each Tennessee whiskey that's a part of the collection is paired to chocolate that complements that spirit.
So is that just one of the little chocolates?
It is. It's one of the 9 that we have currently. We released that with Goo Goo in May for International Tennessee Whiskey Day.
So for people that aren't from Tennessee, what is Goo Goo?
It was actually the first combination candy bar, and it's a great location and stop while you're here in Nashville to stop into Goo Goo. You can actually create your own cluster, and then the bonbons are actually a new product line, and what a great way to debut it with another Tennessee original, which is the Whiskey Trail.
Yeah, what whiskey's inside of those right there?
So the collection itself includes Corsair, Tennessee Legend, Chattanooga Whiskey, Old Smoky, Old Dominic, George Dickel, Sugarland, Jack Daniels, and Nelson's Greenbrier.
Wow.
Well, that's a couple humongous distilleries right there.
Absolutely. And when you bite down on that thing, it's quite a surprise, you know.
It is. And I think they did a great job of really tasting the whiskey and then building a profile that really accentuates that. And each bonbon itself is very unique. And, each of them they just get better and better as they roll out.
What is it, like a 1/10 of an ounce in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really small amount.
It's a perfect way to just really kind of get that sample, but really taste that each distinct flavor.
And bourbon and whiskey in general, but bourbon in particular, has always gone well with chocolate. It's
Absolutely.
always been a great pairing there.
Yes.
You mean you're not going to die from overconsumption?
No, you're not going to die from consumption, Mike.
I'm worried about that now, Jim. I'm worried about dying from consumption.
Actually, if you notice, I have been drinking bourbon with you all night, and you've been holding your own.
Yeah.
But I had to take a break for a little bit. I'm drinking a little bit of this Mountain Valley spring water because I read your article on hydration.
Yeah.
Very important.
Eat and drink, folks. Eat and drink. Well, Charity, so the Tennessee Whiskey Trail is broken up into 3 segments, right? You got the east, the middle, and the west.
Yes.
How many distilleries total are in Tennessee?
There's 28 distilleries that are on the trail and a little over 30 plus stops. So it's a great way to really kind of see the many offerings of Tennessee while you explore the beauty of the state.
It's a lot more than just Jack Daniels here in Tennessee,
There
right?
is. Everything from craft to your legacy brands like Jack and George.
And I heard you say a moonshine.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of moonshine here in Tennessee.
We all need that, right? You need, diverse offerings for diverse audiences.
Yeah, you got to be careful on that moonshine, though. That stuff will make you dance around a campfire.
It can sneak up on you. You never know what's going to happen, right? And moonshine is a big draw for Tennessee. It's a big skew in Tennessee, I guess is the best way to say it. There's a heck of a lot more moonshine taken than there is regular whiskey, isn't there?
Yeah, I think Old Smoky sells the most, and they have the most visitors for any distillery in the world.
That's correct. A little over 5 million visitors last year.
So that's more than the entire visitor count to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail.
Yes.
To one distillery.
Yes.
Wow, pretty amazing, huh?
Right? So
Absolutely.
Moonshine, integral part of Tennessee's history.
It is whiskey, in a way. It's what whiskey starts out as, anyway.
Now, folks have missed the Southern Whiskey Society. If they're not here tonight, you guys have any other events coming up that they could go check out?
Absolutely. So the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, we host signature events all across the state, and we end our season November 5th in Townsend, Tennessee, right at the foothills of the Smoky Mountains for our Grains and Grits event.
I think we might.
Yeah, I know 2 guys that might be there.
I think you guys should absolutely stop in. It's a perfect time to see the fall foliage, as well as one of our newest stops is there, Company Distilling. Just opened their new tasting room right at the foothills. So
Jeff
Awesome.
Arnett, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who doesn't know Jeff Arnett?
Yeah, he used to work for this little company.
Tiny.
Little craft
I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah. The initials JD, but now he's working for Company Distilling, making some great whiskey out there. And we're excited about that event. Folks, make sure you come see the Bourbon Road at Grains and Grits in Townsend, Tennessee on November 5th.
It's a great day. It's my birthday.
I think we're going to be there with our big old friend, John Edwards.
Big John Edwards.
Big
huh?
John Edwards from Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Hopefully we'll see Charity there for the last
Absolutely.
event of
We'll
the year.
certainly raise a glass to you
Right?
on that day for
Wish
your
me
birthday.
happy birthday.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
going to be a great day.
Well, Charity, thanks for coming on to Bourbon Road.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Thank you.